better running game.
Hey everybody, 815 Sports Podcast back again for our weekly Thursday night football videos. Tonight we got Atlanta and Carolina, and on today's episode, Jake and I are going to go through with our Week 10 picks, and we're going to talk about Illinois Basketball's game last night, as well as their game tomorrow night against the Kansas City Kangaroos.
I was going to say I didn't know who they were. I didn't know the.
I've never even heard of them before, but they got a decent logo. So we'll kick it off here. Thursday night football, it's going to be really crappy weather down there in Carolina. Obviously, two teams that haven't been, I guess, spectacular this year, but Atlanta's played some pretty good football.
As of late.
Yeah, and they're a really good team at running the ball, and with the weather, I got Atlanta on this one. I expect a big game from their running backs.
So they're 4-5.
Yep.
Tampa's 4-5.
Yep.
Carolina's 2-7.
Yep.
Who's the other? Who's the fourth?
New Orleans.
New Orleans is. Where are they at? What's
3-6.
They're 3-6. So no teams out of this division, which is.
Yeah.
I don't know how at 2-7 you're not out of the division, but they're not. I got Atlanta as well. I think they're the better team. And that wind and rain is from that hurricane.
Yeah.
That Hurricane Nicole. So I don't think it's a hurricane now. It's probably a tropical storm. It was a low hurricane when it hit. But I'll take Atlanta. It's they're favored 2.5.
Yeah.
I would probably also take that.
Yeah.
I would take them to win, and I'd take them to cover 2.5. And then that would make them go to 5-5, which would make Tampa have to win to stay
in
afloat.
First. Yeah.
But
And I took the unders on a lot of things tonight in that game because of the weather.
yeah, I would take the. I mean, maybe in rushing, I might take the over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I took the under on passing yards, the score, and
so what's the score?
41.5. So each team would have to score 20 plus.
Yeah, I don't know if I see that, but from Carolina, I mean, I don't know. This is a tough game.
You never know. Last time they scored a lot of points, but it was in a dome.
There's a lot of tough games this week.
Yeah. So we both got Atlanta tonight.
Yeah.
All right. I think, and they did a lot of profit boosts on Cordero Patterson to get a touchdown tonight, and I took that as well. I took him to get a touchdown tonight.
Oh, fucking Germany.
We got Seattle and Tampa in Germany. Early game, 9:30 a.m. Won't be watching. I picked against Seattle the past couple of weeks.
Hungover.
Yeah, well, I'll be
you'll
sleeping.
be working.
I got to work this weekend. But I picked Seattle this week because the past few weeks I haven't picked them, and they're playing really good football right now, and Kenneth Walker's been balling. And I know Tampa won last week, but I'm still not impressed with that win, so I got Seattle.
No, I'm not impressed with that win either. I mean, it took to the last – what they score? It was under 30 seconds to take the lead.
Yeah.
I mean, I got Tampa. I'm going to take Tampa. I'm going to take the home team. I know I say this
Nobody's
a lot.
home. Neutral.
Oh, that's true. I'll still take Tampa. I'll take Tom Brady over Geno Smith. See, I didn't realize that was in Germany when I made this pick. I'll take Tampa. I'd probably take him to cover the 2.5 point spread too.
Yeah. I feel like 2.5
I just feel like
asking a lot.
Geno's not going to continue to play this well, but he has up till now, so I don't know. Maybe it's not a fluke, but there's a reason he's how old and he hasn't.
Yeah. The Tampa's bad against the run, though, and Seattle runs it really well.
I'm going to take Tampa.
Okay. Jake's got Tampa. I got Seattle in Germany.
For some reason, I just keep thinking Tom Brady's going to
turn it around. That's what I felt about Rodgers, but after the video clips I was seeing him not throwing to guys that were breaking wide open. You see the one I sent you?
I don't know if that is him taking a jab at the organization.
It's mental.
There's no way he didn't see that guy. He was wide open. I could have made that throw.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing, but something's been bothering him lately, and we're pretty much out of it. We'll talk about that later. So Minnesota at Buffalo. Allen questionable to play in this game.
Who knows?
It could get worse. I mean, the UCL, you got to be careful with that because we know in baseball a lot of the times that turns into Tommy John surgery. He's had this injury, I guess, before in his rookie year. If Allen plays, I picked Buffalo anyways, but if Allen plays, I really believe Buffalo can win this game. I got Buffalo.
I even think if Allen plays, Minnesota can win. I'm taking Minnesota because I don't think I don't think Josh Allen. I don't think he plays. It hasn't came out yet.
Yeah.
As far as we're concerned, we don't know. So I'm going to take it as he's not going to play, because as much as you want to make the playoffs, as much as you want, they have. Are they? I don't know if they're the number one seed or if Kansas City is right now. It's either one.
They
of those
beat
two.
Kansas City, so I'd assume they're one
So
seed.
they're the number one seed. I understand what you're playing for, but you got to look at people's health too. I mean, it's the same with Tua a couple weeks ago. I mean, there were people that were saying he was cleared to play the game before. Like, he was cleared to play the game before that he played. So he could have played the week before, but he didn't, just because, like, mental. Like, so I don't know. Like, I don't. I feel like Buffalo's. I feel like as an organization, they're going to rush him back, and I don't know that they should, because they are 6-2. They can afford a loss.
Yeah.
Especially in the division. I shouldn't say especially. They're in a tough division.
But if they lose and they go to 6-3 and Miami wins, aren't you guys tied for first since you beat them? Yeah, we're
tied, and we would go ahead of them.
Yeah.
So, but even if Allen plays, I'm taking Minnesota. I think Minnesota has the firepower.
They're rolling right now.
Minnesota's hot. It's not going to be miserable Buffalo weather. It's going to be like 45 or 50. And probably a little wind. And if Kirk Cousins doesn't do Kirk Cousins things that he normally does.
But this would be considered a big game for Kirk, and in the one big game he played this year, he did play pretty bad against the Eagles.
Well, in another big game, he whooped up on the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Without Tua.
Yeah.
But either way, I like Minnesota, because even if Allen plays, how healthy is he? Yeah. Is he going to be able to throw the ball 20 yards down the field? He's in some pain.
Zip. Yeah.
You seen it last week when he got hit. Yeah. He was going like this. I'll just take Minnesota because I think they're the healthier team as far as quarterback-wise.
Okay.
And that means a lot, right?
Yeah. Yep. I got Buffalo.
And it's probably the biggest game of the week, right? Is this not the best game of the week?
If Allen plays.
Yeah, I mean, if not, tell me a better game. Record-wise.
Well, not record-wise. I can't tell you a better game record-wise.
That's game of the week.
The only other game I got on here that's between two teams that have actually there's no other games between two teams with a winning record.
So
that is your best game of the week.
Yeah, so we probably could have spent another 5 minutes talking about it.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I guess Case Keenum's Buffalo's backup. So
that's
they have weapons to throw to, so we'll see. So up next we got Detroit, Chicago. I know Detroit just beat Green Bay last week, but Chicago's been rolling. I got to hand it to Bears fans. I know I've been hard on Justin Fields in the past, but he's been playing really well.
He's been playing really well.
I'm going to give it to Fields and the Bears this week.
I'm going to also take the Bears. They went score for score with probably the best offense in the league. I would say if it's not them, who is it?
Buffalo when they're rolling.
So they went score for score with one of the best offenses in the league.
Yeah.
It might be close because Detroit just plays teams close. That's just Detroit football. They never find a way to win. They did last week. That's just because the Packers are in turmoil. The Bears are at home. I think they cover the spread. I think they win. I think they move to 4-6.
Spread's 2.5.
Justin Fields last week, let me tell you, was terrific, amazing, anything you can think of. He was nothing short of spectacular. And it would have been a first down, like on 4th and 10. I don't know if you watched the game.
No, I was on an airplane.
Fields rolled out to his right and threw a dime. That would have been at like R40 with like 1:10 left. And it went right through his hands. Like
whose hands?
Now, I understand it wasn't right here. I don't know who the receiver was. I don't remember. I understand it was off to the side. But still, it hit the receiver in both hands, dropped it, and then the Dolphins just need it.
Yeah. There was also a defensive pass interference that they didn't call on the Dolphins.
There was a bad pass interference call that wasn't called. And as I've said before, they just need to make this shit they need to make this shit to where you can challenge it.
Like they did for a year, and then they got rid of it.
Pass interference is losing and winning teams' games. So how do you avoid that? Just make it reviewable.
Yeah, but then even when they did make it reviewable, they never overturned it.
Or I understand, then people are going to say, well, then they're going to review 10-yard pass interference calls. Like, so it's going to be every time we're going to review. Okay, so give the coach 2 challenges, but the challenges can be used on pass interference calls. So they can't review everyone because there can be more than 2 pass interference calls in a game.
Oh, yeah, normally probably are.
So just make it to be where he's got to think about, am I going to save this or am I going to use it? Because what if a fumble happens, or what if an interception happens and his knee wasn't down? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like make him have to think about it, but make it to where he can challenge it.
Because pass interference does cost teams, games. Especially everybody remembers when the Saints Rams played a few years back, and that brutal one they didn't call.
Yeah,
they ended up helping the Rams win the game.
I mean, it's not just they don't just screw the Bears; it screws everybody.
Yeah.
What was I thinking? Because the Bears defense gave up 400 yards, and their special teams gave up a block punt for a touchdown. So you look at it as a whole, and sure, that pass interference call is going to stick out, but there's a lot of other things that stick out.
Mm-hmm.
So we both got the Bears. They're rolling. I think they're going to be a team of the future. And next year,
they could be really dangerous.
Next year, it depends on what they do. Their defense is so pathetic.
Well, they got $100 million in cap space, so they're going to do something.
So what are you going to do, though? You're going to go spend that offensively or defensively?
With that much money, you could add some quality guys on both sides of the ball. I feel
but I mean,
because that's $100 million in cap space. That's yearly, so they can get 2 guys on $20 million deals and still have 60 million
apparently,
left.
The Dolphins don't care about cap space because they just do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that works because I thought the Dolphins would have already been over. They've signed like 4 players that's worth $200 million all between the 4 of them, between Hill, Armstead, Tyreek Hill, Chubb, Armstead. Who's the other one?
Byron Jones.
Maybe Byron Jones and like Xavier Howard.
But the reason teams are able to do that is because they do the upfront money. And then the other thing they do is when how teams restructure contracts.
Yeah.
So they keep pushing it off. And that's why you see teams like the Packers right now, and for the next couple of years will be in cap space hell. They won't be able to sign anybody in free agency because they're going to be so eaten alive by the different contracts they've done.
Yeah, but see, don't they?
It catches up to you.
I just take back to this. Don't they generate enough revenue?
The teams? Yeah, they generate plenty of revenue, but they haven't upped the cap like they did. Even if they up the cap, you're just going to pay players more. You're still going to run into the same issue. Like the NBA is up at the cap. So
I just don't really get all that.
Yeah. Next game, Denver at Tennessee.
This is a better game than you think.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I expect Ryan Tannehill to play this week, and Tennessee should have won on Sunday Night Football. They got screwed.
Yeah, there's another game. Flags.
Yeah. I mean, numerous times to let the Chiefs get the 2-point conversion. But Derrick Henry's been balling. Denver's got a good defense, though. But I still got Tennessee in this game.
Tennessee. I got Tennessee at home, 2.5. They cover. They win. I just think it could be a good game because Russell Wilson, he can go off. With quarterbacks like that, you never know.
Yeah.
And I'll take Tennessee.
Yeah. And Tennessee's defense played really well on Sunday night, too. So
yeah, they had a game plan for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, and for 3 quarters it worked.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if it just they got tired or Kansas City figured it out.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. Just everything. Throwing, passing,
getting out of the pocket.
Yeah, I meant throwing and running.
Yeah.
And just everything he can do, like he's just simply amazing, and they're never out of a game.
No. He's incredible, no doubt about it.
And he's the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, he should win MVP again this year, but they won't give it to him. He's the best
quarterback in the league.
He could win MVP every year, the same thing as like LeBron could have in the early 10s. Yeah, or Jordan.
I mean, but you know what? He deserves it. Look what he did. Look what he did in that game. They had no business winning. They weren't even in it. And he brought him back. Now, credit the defense got the stops too. It's not all. I mean, they got stops, but
Well, while we're talking about Kansas City, we'll move on here. So Jacksonville at Kansas City. Give me Kansas City. Kansas City's favored by 9.5.
oh yeah,
I kind of like Jacksonville to cover because that's a lot of points to win by in the NFL.
I don't think so.
But
Not
yeah,
this
give me Kansas City.
Kansas City's rolling after that win. Give me Kansas City. I also take them to cover.
Yeah.
So have we had any different picks?
You took Tampa.
Okay, so just one.
Yep.
Yeah, we both kind of just talked about Mahomes. So
up next we got the Browns against Jake's Dolphins. Jake knows how much I actually like the Browns for some odd reason, and I really wanted to pick the Browns in this game, but if it boils down to a shootout, which I think it could because Cleveland's defense they have a lot of good players, but they're not used correctly. I think Miami's going to win this game. I think Nick Chubb does have a big game though.
If it comes down to a shootout, I don't think Jacoby Brissett will outduel Tua.
No.
I think that they can only run the ball so much, and the Dolphins will eventually stuff the box. So then they'll make Brissett beat them. I don't know. Is Jacoby Brissett good enough to keep him in the game and this be a good game?
Yeah,
absolutely. With the team they got, they have a bunch of talent on both sides of the ball. I've said this for 3 weeks in a row, and Miami's avoided it on the road twice. This is a trap game because when you play teams with worse records, everyone thinks you're going to win. There's a reason the Dolphins are only favored by 3.5 at home after putting up 70 points in 2 weeks.
Cleveland overall is a good football team in my eyes. They have a lot of talent.
Cleveland's good. They just seem like they just can't find a way to win.
Yeah.
That's all. They remind me of Detroit.
The
NFC.
Yeah. I will say this. If Cleveland wins this week, I actually like them to make the playoffs.
Well, not division?
No, not winning the division, but I like them to make the playoffs actually if they win this week. And
do you know their schedule?
Cincinnati's sitting at 4-4, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know about Cincinnati. But we both got the Dolphins. The Dolphins are the better team. They're more talented. They have more talent than the Browns. Not that the Browns don't have enough, but I just think the Dolphins have more.
Yeah, I agree. And Miami's playing better football overall right now.
The organization is pushing for a whiteout, so it'll be cool to see if it actually is because white knock was a lot different.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see how much fans pay attention. But, I mean, can we talk about Tua and how good he's been? Because he's in the
MVP race.
He's been a top 5 quarterback in the league since week 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know where he'd sit in the MVP race if he didn't miss those 2.5 games.
You could argue he'd be 1.
It depends on it depends on their record.
Yeah.
I mean, if they only have 1 loss, which I think they would, I think they can beat the Jets if he's healthy.
Yeah.
I also think
they could have beat the Vikings.
And I think they could have beat the Vikings at home because they played with the Vikings at home till the 4th quarter with freaking Skylar Thompson.
Yeah.
So, and I just think that's because of how good of their team they have. They have just so many weapons that you just get them out, get the ball to them out in space, and anybody can throw to them.
Mm-hmm.
But we both got the Dolphins. I mean, Tua is leading the league in a bunch of things. Yeah. I think he's number 1 in QBR.
It's pretty impressive considering the way that myself and a lot of people talked about him.
What I like about Tua is Tua to me gets the ball out faster than any quarterback in the league. If you look, some of those NFL guys like the next day on Monday, Tuesday, they do like where he drops back and like they count and they do it for like multiple throws. And I think the ball's out by 3 every time. It's like he is stepping back, and by the time he plants his foot for the 3rd step, the ball's already out. He's throwing to receivers before they're even turned around.
That helps him stay healthy too.
So yeah, and he's going to have to if his O-line's not the greatest.
Yeah.
So Tua's playing good. The Dolphins are playing good.
Up next, we got Houston at the New York Football Giants.
This is gonna be.
I got the Giants in this one, and I think that Saquon has a huge game.
4. That's the spread.
Yeah.
I'll take the Giants in the cover. They're too good. They played well last week too. Seattle just found a way to win at home, which is what they always do.
Yeah.
Giants are good. Barkley's probably gonna have a game. Houston's terrible. They
did look all right last week running the ball.
Well, they did look
did
too
run the
bad
ball
versus
well.
Philadelphia. They
Yeah.
played in that game, but
They hung around. New Orleans at Pittsburgh. This is going to be a bad game.
this is a good
think.
no. Yeah, it's a bad game, but who?
I got New Orleans.
I got Pittsburgh.
I like the offensive weapons that New Orleans has. I think Jarvis Landry is going to be back this week. Olave, stud, rookie out of Ohio State. Andy Dalton had a bad game last week, but according to the fantasy football rankings, the Steelers' defense is the worst one in the league, guarding the pass. So I think that the Saints could exploit
they weren't
that.
when they played the Dolphins.
Well, I'm just saying it's something that they could exploit.
But yeah, absolutely. I got the Giants, I got Pittsburgh.
Yep. Well, there's the second game we differ on because I got New Orleans.
I just think, Pittsburgh beat Tampa, right? In Pittsburgh. Yeah. In New Orleans, I don't know.
Speaking of that,
I don't know much about these teams, so I don't know.
How bad has Najee Harris been this year?
Is it bad or are they using him wrong?
No, I don't know. I watched the videos and he had wide open holes and he just was not going that way. But who knows? Maybe he's playing hurt a little bit, but there's a big recession from his year one.
It's hard to pick a 3-6 and 2-6 game.
Yeah.
There's a reason New Orleans is favored by 1.5 on the road. They don't know. It's a pick 'em. That's basically a pick 'em. I'm going to take the home team. Yeah. Pittsburgh does have a very good home advantage.
Home crowd.
And those guys are crazy. They'll be 60,000 strong. So
yeah,
I'll roll with the steel curtain and those terrible yellow towels.
I got the Saints. So in other news this week,
oh boy,
Indy at Vegas, two teams who really don't play that well week in, week out. Indianapolis fired head coach Frank Reich this week, and Jeff Saturday, straight off of being an ESPN analyst, is now the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. A lot of people had a lot of questions about that, didn't understand the hire, so on and so forth. But with all that being said, I got Vegas.
I got Vegas at home.
And, Indy, that's a lot to overcome.
Indy don't have enough. They just don't have enough. They don't impress me. They don't.
Jonathan Taylor's out this week.
I don't know how I don't know how they've gone from being a good team to this bad.
Yeah.
I don't really mind the hire in Jeff Saturday. We won't get into all that we won't get into it, but I just think Jeff Saturday knows the game of football. Yeah. It's not like they hired somebody off the street.
Yeah.
He played there, and like you said, if he's not, he said it in his interview, if he's terrible after 8 games, he ain't going to be there no more.
Yeah.
It's not their for sure hire. It's literally, everyone was like, well, they should have hired, who was it on the team? Is it Reggie Wayne? Is he a coach?
Reggie Wayne does coach. Yeah, he does.
So they were like, well, it should have been him. So here's my thing. If they do give it to Reggie Wayne and he's not good after 8 games and they get rid of him, it gets the same thing. So maybe now if Jeff Saturday ain't good, maybe Reggie Wayne gets it for 2 to 3 years. Maybe he gets a 2 to 3 year deal.
Yeah.
So it could work out for Reggie Wayne, who I heard was, a candidate, but he didn't get it. I think maybe that's the route they're going.
Yeah.
I hear ya. So, yeah, we both got Vegas, and I don't know about Jeff Saturday. He knows football. He played for the Colts.
Yeah, I can't believe how bad Vegas has been this year. Now they got Waller's out on IR. I really thought they were going to be a good team this year, but yeah.
And if you hear, going back to Saturday, I don't know if it's, I think Stephen A., one of the guys that works with Jeff Saturday said they've never met a smarter football mind than him. It is a pleasure to work with him. They're going to miss him at whatever job he does. I don't know if he does Sunday Countdown or so.
Somewhere on ESPN. I know he pops up on a lot of those shows.
Yeah. I just don't really – he was kind of harsh on Tua and the Dolphins, so he kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But
yeah, well, we're doing it for free, but they get paid to talk about the game. Obviously, Jeff Saturday has a lot better insight on football than we do, but I'm just saying.
He probably had an in. He probably knew somebody in the organization. I mean, he played for him.
Yeah. Well, Jim Irsay likes him, because he's played there before. Obviously, the center with Peyton Manning and those teams there. So up next, we got Dallas at Green Bay. Pretty sure this will be on most of the television networks across the United States. I think it's a game of the week on Fox. Not a whole lot to say good about Green Bay. I mean, they're just playing terrible football. After a 3-1 start to lose 5 in a row.
Just the way they're losing though is just pathetic. They're not even they're not even trying. You score 9 points versus the freaking Lions. Their defense is pathetic. For some reason,
I think Rodgers has been pathetic the past couple of weeks.
I didn't pick who'd you take?
I took Dallas.
So we're both gonna take Dallas.
It hurts me to pick against.
No, but I'm telling you, the Packers might win this game, but I'm taking Dallas.
Yeah,
I just see them coming. I see them having a game. They might not. It might not go on the rest of the year. Like they might look good, and then they might be. You know what I mean? It might just be like a
once in a while.
Yeah, this could be the game coming home.
Mike McCarthy back in Green Bay.
There's going to be 90,000 people there. Probably be a lot of Cowboy fans.
Yeah,
but there's going to be it's going to be a full house. Packer fans are going to be loud. They know that this is probably their season.
Dallas is the better team.
That don't always matter.
Yeah.
If Green Bay goes to 3-7, are they done?
Yeah, I think they're done right now. But
okay, so
James Jones, former Packers wide receiver, thinks that we're going to win out.
So they can't go 3-7. They can't. No. So they know the importance of this game. Rodgers knows the importance of this game. I swear, if I watch this game and I see this
same lackadaisical, don't care,
lethargic, just we're just here because you're just not used
here to get paid.
You're not used to that in Green Bay. Like I want to see run some quick off, like hurry up, like get up to the line, like get Dallas on their heels. And I think Aaron Rodgers is absolutely good enough with no weapons to beat the Cowboys in Green Bay. It's strange things happen in Lambeau.
Yeah. Speaking of the no weapons, Romeo Doubs out 4 to 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. So that's one less receiver we have. Injuries are really piling up. Rashawn Gary, I'm sure a lot of you guys know him. He's been having a good year. 6 sacks this year. Was really coming on as a pass rusher. Probably going to get an extension after this year. Eric Stokes out, most likely, I'd assume. Let's see. Devondre Campbell's hurt. I mean, you could go down the list. Bakhtiari had been banged up. Jenkins banged up. Aaron Jones got hurt last week. The whole damn team really is hurt. Rodgers playing with the thumb issue.
A lot of them will play.
Yeah. And Rodgers playing with the thumb issue, and I did see that his statistics have went down dramatically since he had that thumb issue.
Yeah, he's been awful.
And he's not making reads like we've seen in the past, and I can't believe the drop-off. It's embarrassing. Hopefully they come out and play well, but I don't think they will.
I'm surprised. So, like, when you look at their schedule to start the season, like every fan does, was this not a game you circled to, like, want to go to?
Well, I worked, but, I mean, it would have been a cool game to go to.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I kind of wanted to go to the Dallas – or not the Dallas. The Thursday night game upcoming week, we play Tennessee and Green Bay, and I was –
So they play Sunday, Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So it's going to be a long week.
Oh, my God. If they're 3-8, oh, boy.
Well,
both these games are at home?
Yeah.
There's no way they're 3-8.
I don't know. I'm okay if we just, keep going away. I'm not saying it's okay to lose games, but to have a top 5 pick, that'd be something new for Packers fans and something that needs to happen.
I can't imagine if they're 3-8.
We're in the last leg here of the Packers season. We'll see what happens. They need to win, but I got Dallas.
There's another 2 teams.
Arizona at the Rams, 2 teams playing well below what you thought they were going to play at this
playing
year.
For their season.
Yeah. Well, especially Arizona, 3-6. I mean, you can't really lose another game there.
No. Who you got?
I got Arizona.
You've been riding with them all year. I got the Rams.
Yeah.
I just think they find a way. I don't know. I don't have much about.
I know that the Rams offense didn't look that great against Tampa. They haven't looked great in the recent weeks. I think Arizona has a lot better playmakers. They just haven't been used the way that we've seen them used in years past. But I think Arizona's going to find a way to pull this game out. So I got Arizona.
I got the Rams. What is that? They got the Rams favored by 7?
Yeah.
No. The Rams are favored by.
No, I got a 1.5 on there, don't I?
Yeah, a point and a half. That's right.
Sunday Night Football, Chargers, San Francisco. I think a lot of people think this is going to be a good game.
Should be.
I can agree with that, but I also think San Francisco is the better team.
Yeah, they are.
I like San Francisco, and I like them by 6 this game.
I'll take the 49ers as well.
They're playing great football. They got McCaffrey back there now. He played tremendously the last time they played. He had the receiving, passing, and rushing touchdown. The guy can do it all. They got Kittle. They got Ayuk. They got Samuel.
They're talented.
They're loaded.
They're talented. I can't believe they're 4-4. I have to keep looking at that. They're a good team. The Dolphins play there in, I think, like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we both got San Fran. I don't know if they cover the spread, but I think they win.
Yeah. Up next, we got Washington at Philly. I like Philly in this game. Washington somehow is 4-5, which is a lot better than I thought that they would be.
Yeah, that's
not bad for Washington.
Not terrible. They just play bad football. They just win bad football.
They only lost
games.
by 3 last week, though, to Minnesota.
Yeah, I told you that could be a good game.
They were up 17-7.
So we both got Philly.
Yeah. Philly's the better team. I think everybody's seen it so far.
I don't know if Philly loses the game.
The rest of the year, and they have better than a 75% chance.
They got to play at Dallas, so that'll be hard. They got to play at the Bears. If Fields rushes for 170 yards, who knows?
But Hurts can do the same thing. You're right. They got games on there. You don't know the rest of the way, but going forward, they're the better team.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I've got Philly in that game. A lot of good games this week. A lot of meaningful games for a lot of teams.
Yeah, a lot of teams are playing for their season.
Yeah. We'll move on. Last night, Illinois played in-state. I wouldn't say rival, but in-state opponent in Eastern Illinois, and they won 87-57. That's a typo on my part. I apologize.
I even thought it was 83-53.
It was 87-57. I screwed that one up. But the transfers looked really good. Shannon Jr. had 24 points. There we go. Shannon Jr. had 24 points, 8 rebounds. He was 13-15 at the line. Every single starter had at least one steal. Coleman Hawkins played tremendously well. If he can space the floor like that, the rest
what
of the year
did I say about Coleman
problem.
Hawkins?
You were texting back and forth. He was
my player of the. I think he's going to be the reason Illinois does anything this year if they go far, because of him.
Mm-hmm.
He made his first 4 or 5 threes.
Yep.
They looked the purest shots I've ever seen, and he could not shoot his freshman year, and last year he was okay. But they said he got in the gym, and they said all he did was shoot. Well,
it showed
you
the other
seen
night. Yeah.
And you know who else played well was Dane Danger.
Yep.
You know what?
Both of them had double-doubles.
The people who say it's EIU get lost. All right? Every team does this. Every team. There was a lot of teams that lost.
Yeah, but
Louisville lost.
Yep.
Oklahoma lost. There was another team that lost a bye game. These games that you play them to win, to get ready. They're not always easy. You're playing teams you aren't playing.
You're playing teams you should beat. And Illinois controlled the game and won like they should have. And like you mentioned, some other teams didn't.
But they also looked like they made the right basketball plays. So that's what I like to see. They played lower competition, but the basketball plays were there. The passes were crisp. They knew where they wanted to go with them. That stuff will work versus good teams if you make the right basketball plays. And Illinois did. The whole game.
Mm-hmm.
The whole game, the entire game. And I think that is all credit to Underwood. He is such a hard coach, but also you love him at the same time because he's funny, but he expects you to not make one mistake the whole game. And when you make a silly mistake, he takes you out and you know what you did, but he'll put you right back in. Illinois looked great. They play tomorrow night
against the Kangaroos of Kansas City. That should be another blowout.
The Big Ten championship ceremony night. They're going to raise their banner and they'll get their rings. So it's going to be a fun weekend in Champaign. I've thought about doing the double dip.
Yeah. And staying the night there.
Well, I would just drive home.
Oh,
Well, I don't know. That's kind of crazy because if it's 11, the football team plays
could
at
just
11
stay.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to go to the basketball game. I am going to the football game on Saturday.
And it's gonna be chilly this weekend.
It's
You're
gonna
gonna have to
be
start
cold.
bundling up. Everybody, I hope they enjoyed these past 2 days because here comes the winter.
Yeah, Illinois laid an egg last week. Kind of disappointing. Not kind of, is. It's one of the most disappointing losses I've ever watched. They were 16-point favorites. They lost. They still control their own destiny to get to the Indianapolis, but they can't play how they did last week.
Yeah.
They shouldn't. I think they're 7-point favorites. So I think Illinois wins tomorrow night, obviously. I'm going to say they win Saturday too. So, I mean, we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Chase Brown's had over 100 yards. He still leads the league in rushing. Illinois still leads the league in defensive scoring points, not giving up. So I don't think Purdue's going to come in and roll them. If Purdue wins, I think it'll be close. Illinois' defense is just too good. I think the offense needs to show up. And I still have nightmares about that game last week because it potentially doesn't hurt them from getting to Indianapolis, but it hurts them from maybe getting a New Year's Six bowl game.
Well, and I mean, realistically, they still had a shot at the playoffs.
Yeah, they did.
If they would have won out, as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean they did. I mean
Yeah.
everything was in front of them.
Yeah.
But they can still get. Listen, they give the loser of the Big Ten championship. They normally give them the Rose Bowl if they have a decent record. So if Illinois finishes 9-3, like I think they're going to finish the regular season, then they lose and go to 9-4. That is a good enough record to send them to the Rose Bowl and play. Maybe an SEC team, maybe a Pac-12 team that has 2 or 3 losses. I mean, look, Alabama's got 2 losses, and Alabama plays Ole Miss this weekend.
Yeah.
What if they lose? Are you going to tell me they're not going to be in a New Year's Six bowl game? No, they will be. So I still think Illinois.
Pretty impressive win for LSU last week.
One of the most gutsiest calls I've seen in a long time.
I respect it.
Going
Go
for
the
2.
win.
Well,
Yeah.
go for the win, but
What did they have to lose? They already have 2 losses.
I know, but they were ranked 10.
It's not
But
like it would have been a
got
bad
it.
loss.
And
yeah.
I mean that's why those coaches are paid to make those calls.
And Brian Kelly's really actually, after
Done
you
a
saw
great
week
job.
1, yeah, he's done a great job.
LSU's a tough out.
Their quarterback's really good. He's
That
really good
scramble that he ran in for a touchdown to tie it in overtime was absolutely just incredible.
Well, and then the guy that caught the 2-point conversion was Jason Taylor's kid. He plays tight end now.
Yeah.
He plays tight
Yeah,
end
that's
there now.
that's awesome.
He's a freshman.
JT's our guy in Miami.
Yeah.
And Joy Taylor, I love her as an announcer. So things are looking up in college for our teams.
Well, not so much my team. I was at the game. We lost 38-35 this weekend. I still had a good time. We beat ourselves with the 3 turnovers. The defense didn't play good. That's obvious.
38 points is a lot.
But you can't throw 3 picks and expect to win a game. You can't.
Did they have who had the ball did they have a chance to drive and win it for you or?
Well, it was 4th and 1 and Baylor went for it and got it. So then we never had another chance to get the ball back. So
that's tough.
But is what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
we did lose a recruit. We've lost 2 recruits the past 2 weeks. 4-star, 6'6" defensive edge out of Texas. I think people are
not buying in.
I think a lot of people are buying in, but I really think that it's important for Oklahoma to win this week against West Virginia.
Where's that at?
At West Virginia.
Oh,
somehow Oklahoma's favored. It's really important for us to win that game, and I also think it's really important to win at home against Oklahoma State the following week when you're going to have recruits.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
I still like Venables.
No. I'm just for people like that aren't buying like these recruits that are like everyone that's they had 2 recruits leave, so obviously people are thinking what's going on. You can't. I don't care that they went to one of the most powerhouses in football. You can't turn it around. You can't just have a coach come in there and go 12-0. Like it. I mean, I think I know you thought they were gonna go like 1 loss or undefeated, but that would have been one of the most incredible coaching things ever. If for him to do that, you take over a team you know nothing about, absolutely nothing about.
Well, he knows a lot about Oklahoma because he's coached there, but they're not his players.
Yeah, they're not his players. You don't know what they were running because he was at Clemson.
It's a whole new system, and you're trying to have guys learn it.
This I will say this. Look at what Brad Underwood's doing at Illinois in his second year. Oklahoma has the resources. They have the players to do it this next year. What Illinois is doing now. Which would you take 7-2 right now over Oklahoma's record?
Yeah,
absolutely.
What I'm saying.
And you. I mean,
Sorry, go ahead first. You go ahead first.
Okay, they play in the Big 12. So
for one more year.
A lot of points are scored.
Yeah.
In those games.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Big 10 where it's grind out, it's old school mentality football besides Ohio State, which I've come accustomed to liking because it's what I watch. But you watch games that are 42 to
35,
42 to 50, like So maybe he brings in a team that brings in a defensive mind to Oklahoma. They'll be right back up there every year if they can get a defensive mind. He
is a defensive minded coach, and we saw he had the really good defenses at Clemson, 2 national titles to show for it. It took him a few years to get that defense at Clemson to a good rank. It took him 2 or 3 years, and it's going to take time.
It's unfortunate.
You got to have the recruits come in. And if guys are decommitting, then they don't want to be there. Then that's on them. They don't want to be there. Let them go.
What it is. You know what Underwood said last year in his speech in basketball? If you don't want to come here, we'll just enjoy kicking your ass.
Yeah,
I was there. I could have just died. How funny that was. So that's how you got to think as a coach.
Yeah, and they'll be all right. I hope they make a bowl game. They need to win one more game to be bowl eligible,
probably win.
Which I think. I would hope that they'll be okay doing that. Was it one of the I wouldn't worry about these 2 recruits that we lost. I mean, the one guy that decommitted ended up going to Texas. He's from Austin, Texas.
Well, that's given then.
But the 5-star quarterback we got that's committed right now, he's also from Texas. I haven't seen him say anything bad about Oklahoma, and he's looking forward to coming and playing there. It's very important that he stays committed and we get him to come there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's very important that he's a number 2 ranked quarterback in next year's class. We still have a top 10 class. We're ranked 6 right now. It's very important that he comes there, and he's going to be bringing a few, studs he plays with, that wide receiver with him. So it's very important that he stays committed and comes to Oklahoma. So whatever needs to be done, get it done, get him there.
Yeah, right. They will. I think they will. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
You're living my life the last 10 years. So
I've never had both my teams be this bad in one year. I mean, like in Green Bay and like in Oklahoma, the last time Oklahoma had a year like this was like 2012.
Yeah, like I said, 10 years.
And the last time the Packers had a season like this was 2016, but they won every single game after that, made the playoffs, and made the NFC Championship game.
What year did the Packers only win like 4 or 5 games?
2018, because Rodgers got hurt, and then we had Brett Hundley. And,
yeah.
But that was the year we drafted Jair Alexander.
It's not ideal, but I mean, you'll get through it.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
There's always next year.
How long did we say that for the Cubs?
Yeah, a long time. Now I got to say it for my football teams, but it's just the season's short, and it's my favorite time of the year, so it's tough to see your team suck.
Well, your secondary teams are doing good.
Yeah, I will say Dolphins, baby. Let's ride. Dolphins win the Super Bowl this year.
Just like my secondary teams, every time the Dolphins were bad, I could always, count on watching the Packers and, being like, well, Cole and them are happy, so I'm happy.
Yep. And I'm glad I get to see the Dolphins do well for Jake, and it looks like they're going to be doing well for not only this year but the next couple.
They do look good for a couple of years. They've got Tyreek and Jalen, you got them for the next couple of years too. I mean, everyone's young. Bradley Chubb's young.
Yeah.
You got Howard signed. If you can get Byron Jones back, I don't know what's going on with him. I ain't going to say what I'm going to say about him. He needs to get out there because he's needed. So I'll say that.
Yeah. Because this could be the year for the Dolphins.
And if you get Byron Jones, you got 2 lockdown corners.
Yeah, what you're going to need if you end up playing against the Chiefs, because that's what I personally think it's going to be in the AFC Championship game, especially if Allen ends up having serious problems with his elbow. I would say the AFC Championship game is going to be between two of the three teams of the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Dolphins. So
I'm just telling you, if Miami wins and Buffalo loses, we jump to first place, which would mean we're the second seed.
Mhm.
So if Miami gets a home playoff game, they could get to if they have a bye and then they get the one game and then they go to Kansas City, they could get to the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I don't want that. What I don't want is them to be a wild card and have to go play 2 road games first, because that would be just a tough task.
Yeah.
But I'll take playoffs and then go next year from there.
Yeah.
But
either way, it'd be nice for you to see them in the playoffs, and anything can happen then. So
it's ironic the year the Packers were bad. I think the Dolphins made that run with Tannehill and they lost in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
In 2016, the year the Cubs won the World Series.
Oh, the Packers were good in 16. Was it 18?
Well, it was whatever year they had Tannehill and they made the wild card and
I remember what you're talking about though. Yeah.
They were good that year. I think they went 11-5 or something. They
Yeah.
were good last year. They were good the year before. They just didn't get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sports.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's all we'll touch on tonight. Next week, I don't know when we'll do a video because I work Thursday and Wednesday, but maybe we'll do something on Tuesday, or maybe we'll do something over maybe on a Sunday or something.
yeah, you work on Thursday?
Yeah.
So the Dolphins have a bye.
Yeah.
So if you want to, we can do one Sunday.
Yeah. And
before the game.
the Packers play Thursday night.
Oh,
so it'd be cool if we could do another one then, but we can't. So maybe we'll figure something out.
Yeah,
maybe
we'll try to make one work before the games.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. But anyways, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Jake, you got anything to add?
No, ILL.
Nope. Everybody have a good weekend.